Hello everyone. So we're going to continue on the beginner's guide for web development. We've been able to outline what a website is, the difference between a website and a web page, and in today's episode, we are going to cover topics related to web development. What is web development? And web development is a process of building, designing, and maintaining websites or web applications that run on the internet. Yeah, so it involves everything from how a website works and it looks, to design and layout, to how it functions in terms of interaction, data processing, and user experience. Web developers use coding languages and tools to bring websites to life and make them interactive. Now, you're going to have to decide where you actually fit in terms of web development. So, based on your skills, you're going to have to understand your web development roles and how you fit into the career. Because you could actually be a front end web developer or back end, or you could actually be both, where you have the front end skills and the back end skills. So let's jump into how a website works. To understand web development, you first need to understand how websites actually work. So a user opens your browser and enters a keyword, or possibly a URL, which is a domain address of a specific website that they intend to visit. Now the browser checks for internet connection, and once the internet connection is active, it then sends a request to the server where the IP of the website is located. The server then responds, and this is just the basic chat that shows how a website actually works. So you need a browser and you need the internet to actually access files that are being hosted on the remote server. So with this table, we can clearly understand how the browser and the internet plus the server where the website IP address is located. And we can see how all of these factors are essential. So we have the component and we have the role in the process. So the browser, which could be Chrome, Firefox, Opera Mini. So this is what the user opens to visit a website. It sends and receives data. The network that connects your browser to the website server is the internet. So you need internet services to actually connect your browser to the website server, which is where the website actually lives. The web server is a computer that stores website files and sends them to browsers when requested. Think of it this way: you grab your device, you open your browser, you need internet connection first of all to send request to the remote server where the website actually exists. And once that request arrives at your web server then answers this request by sending the requested files to your browser. And that's just the basics of how a website works. Okay, so there are types of web development roles. You have the front end, the back end, and the full stack roles. And they are all unique because not many people rely complex coding where you have algorithms using various evaluations and conditions. That's where front end actually comes in. So front end works on what the user sees and interact with. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, animations, probably images that are graphically engaging. These duties are covered under a front end. And then we have the back end, which works behind the scenes. Your server, your database, and your algorithms kind of fall underneath back end. And the tech stack for this is PHP, MySQL, Node.js for data handling. Then we have the full stack, which combines both front end and back end skills. So as a full stack developer, you pretty much can build a complete website from scratch, both the front end and the back end. Whereas a front end focuses more on what the user sees and how they interact with the website. A backend developer focuses on working behind the scenes. So these are the three main areas of web development, each with different responsibilities. So on your web development growth, as you proceed in this career, you want to be honest with yourself and identify your strengths. Are you really good at creating intuitive, interactive visuals using front end design tech stacks like HTML? Or are you focused on building logics, server side coding? Then you need back end skills. And if you're interested in doing both the front end and back end, then a full stack web development role is the best approach. So to round up, we talked about web development and how websites are built and maintained. And every time you visit a site, web development is at work behind the scenes. I've been able to break down the different roles of a front end, back end, and full stack developer. This will help you decide on where you want to specialize as a web developer because their roles are uniquely different and the technology stack for each is also different. All right, so I hope you guys have been able to identify the concepts of web development, the types of web development roles, and understand how a website works from when a user opens their browser, uses the internet to make a request to a server where a website is being hosted. The next episode, where we talk about front end versus back end development,